We got a lot of love for our
Yeah.
video we made about The Force Awakens 100 years ago.
Yeah.
People have been asking, so we said, shit, why don't we just go ahead and knock it out?
Yeah, we're gonna make another one.
Since the man himself is back in town, I figured I'd take this opportunity.
Yeah,
so,
I've been in Japan for a little bit, so came back to the States for the holidays and try to make another video. So what did you want? What did you want?
Let's do two parts. First, let's talk about epic movies that we saw that really impacted us, and then we'll go to maybe like good and bad in various genres.
Oh, you want the epic movies? It's kind of heavy though, right? You know,
yeah, epics. Let's start out strong with the energy.
What?
It's late at night. I might get sleepy.
I know, but that's what I said. I might get sleepy trying to talk about all the epic stuff.
All right, you want to do the good and bad?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that then.
All right, so I gotta say, one of my favorite films, I have to say, would be Matrix Reloaded.
Okay.
Oh, I gotta.
Yeah.
I gotta.
I can't see my pretty mug. You know what I mean?
I gotta record my own self. So I gotta say, Matrix Reloaded was cool. I wouldn't say it was cool. It was probably one of the best action movies known to man. I gotta say that. Yeah,
one of the best action movies known to man.
Known to man.
You're not hype.
Yeah, in this universe or any other universe, Matrix Reloaded was the best, you know. And
so why you say that? Give us a reason why.
Because well, first of all, everybody has shades. Everybody has sunglasses, you know. And y'all can't see me now, but usually I'm wearing sunglasses all the time.
Right.
And that's because I saw The Matrix, you know.
Oh wow.
And it's just everybody cool, everybody. Even people who weren't even important, they had sunglasses on. And they had like cool leather jackets, and everybody was just so cool looking.
Mm-hmm.
And then other part, the reason why I skipped over the first Matrix is because in The Matrix Reloaded, the action is just insane.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like they had so many like crazy like action sequences.
Mm-hmm.
Sequences like what? Well, the one that stands out to me is Neo when he's fighting that whole army of Smiths in the apartment complex.
Oh yeah.
Park or whatever.
Right.
And he's got that pole and he's just kicking everybody and kind of, that sounds wrong. Standing on the pole. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, that's weird. But, you know, he was whooping on everybody.
Yep.
And, you know, when I was a little kid watching that, you know, I was like, dang, man, is he going to make it? Because he was fighting 3, then 5, then 30, then there was a whole army of them, you know?
Yeah.
And that was cool. And what else they had in there? They had a shootout? They didn't have any shootouts, did they?
Was that the movie where Cypher tested him?
Oh no, that was
Seraph or Semicolon? Maybe a semicolon.
No, that was the third one.
That was the third one? Oh, okay.
I think because
the one where he was fighting on the table with the Asian dude, and he said you don't really know somebody until you fight them. Was that the second one? Because that was Star Wars-esque in the sense that that sounded wise, but it might have been trash. But it sounded wise.
Right.
I was like, okay, that was kind of Star Wars, like on that Yoda vibration. You know?
Right.
I was like, okay, you know, you never know somebody till you fight them.
Right.
Okay, all right. So I dig that one. So that's going to be in your action category, right?
Yeah. Talking about the action category, Matrix Reloaded definitely top of anything, you know, action related. Yeah.
All right, then.
How about you, Dan?
All right, so for my action, I gotta say, I like Black Panther.
Action?
I'm driving, so my mind is not totally here, but I'm gonna say All right, okay. All right, so I'm gonna say Black Panther because it started out with like a heist kind of scene, and everybody was fighting, and the fighting was very choreographed.
Right.
Almost like the Matrix, where you flying down
Right.
and all that kind of shit.
Right.
And I like that a lot. I that the and then they was chasing them, and then the car fell apart, and that was very almost a cartoony kind of vibe.
Right.
So I'm gonna go with Black Panther. That's my star. I'm sticking to it.
Dang. I don't know, cause I saw Black Panther as more as like I mean, Matrix Reloaded was story driven too, but like the action was like a main piece. I mean, Black Panther had a whole bunch of action, but not like Matrix Reloaded though.
Okay.
I felt like it was more heavy on trying to deliver a message, like culturally, and historically,
Yeah, it was all of that. It was that too. I mean, the Black Panther was a transcendent kind of a movie.
Right.
Meaning that it sent ripples throughout the culture.
Yeah.
Worldwide.
Yeah.
Now, was it a perfect movie? Obviously not. Because some of the acting have been better. Obviously, not, could have been. Everything could be improved. But what was heavy about it was the impact that it had on people.
Right. Some look like cops.
No, those are that's
ambulance. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, it's fired.
Yeah.
Cool. We didn't get pulled over. Yeah.
I think that's my exit though. But anyway, so you funny with the cops, but
Yeah.
how are the cops in Japan?
They're annoying, but they're not as proactive in your face like the ones in America.
Oh, okay.
And you get into a confrontation with them. I'm speaking as a black guy. You got a pretty high chance of coming out of it alive. And
okay.
yeah. Now, if you mess up in Japan, then you will disappear. But
You will
disappear? Yeah, like KGB type of stuff. Like there is no you call it the phone call.
You don't get one phone call?
No, there is no phone call. They just take you and you're gone for at least 2 weeks at a time or something like that. Nobody knows nothing.
But they don't beat you and put electricals on your balls and nothing like they do in America do.
Well, I don't know. I mean, those people who disappear, they don't come back. So
I think those people get deported.
Oh, okay. I hope so.
Yeah, I think they get deported. That's my belief. But all right then. So let's get back to the movies. Okay, so we touched on the action category. Do you want to say? See these fucking detours. Hold on for a second.
Okay, well, I'll go back.
Go back to the Matrix.
So
There we go. That's what I wanted.
I gotta say another thing that the Matrix had. It has so many elements of what a good action film should have. Like it had shootouts, they had car chase scenes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It had the martial arts scene in there, and one fantastic scene that just impacted me throughout my whole entire existence of ever is when they were chasing those albino Jamaican twins through traffic. Oh no, the Jamaican twins were chasing them.
Right.
And Morpheus and Trinity were driving in that Escalade.
With my man, the key maker.
Yeah, the Asian dude in the back seat.
Yeah.
And
how can I go back?
Yeah. And they were driving, and the twins were in some gigantic car, and they pulled out that machine gun. They started shooting, and then when they started shooting, then the Matrix agents, not Smith.
Yeah, the Smiths.
But not Smith. The agents came.
Oh, the agents, right?
Yeah.
Smith is an agent.
Yeah.
That's right, now Smith's got.
Yeah, the agent came, and then they got into the mix, and they started jumping on cars, and the cars were flipping.
Yeah.
And they shooting and fighting, and I was like, dang man, this off the chain,
Yeah, I must say, you're skipping over one of my favorite parts.
What?
And that's with the Merovingian. The Italian.
Oh, with Neo?
Hold on for a second.
Okay.
No, with okay, so remember they had to go into the club or the restaurant and to talk to the Merovingian. They wanted to order something. Now, backstory: the actor, that French dude, and that Italian sister, they work together a lot. I think he helps her get roles or something. But that Italian girl's fine as hell. But
yeah, she is good.
So that's when she said, I'll tell you what you need to know about the Keymaker, but I want him to kiss me.
Right.
I want Neo to kiss me. That was kind of crazy because Trinity, the little mama bear, came out and said, what? What I mean? Even though they played the emotions down kind of small, she was able to carry whatever her name was able to get that up and over. Yeah. So that was some decent acting. Yeah. And I thought The Matrix, the whole trilogy, was gonna be like Star Wars 2.0.
Star Wars 2.0.
Meaning, to me, Star Wars is a part. Like, I think every country has a mythology. Right now, most mythologies happened 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago. King Arthur, that kind of shit. We don't got that. Right. America don't got that. I mean, we got Paul Bunyan and John Henry. Yeah. But otherwise we don't have that mythology. Right. To me, I feel like Star Wars is that American mythology that's going to be here in spite of Disney fucking it up. I think it's going to be here a long time. That Yoda vibration and the Force and that whole kind of thing. I feel like that's part of the American mythology. Right. And so, I thought The Matrix is going to add to that, but I honestly don't think it did. I just think it was a very good series. I don't think it. Yeah, I don't think it. Like, they were starting fucking religions off of Star Wars.
For real?
Yeah, man.
But I mean, I got to hit you with this though. I mean, I feel like, I gotta say, like, Star Wars was deep though, but I just feel like The Matrix was more heavy on the political side. Okay. And stuff like that. I mean, like, The Matrix resembling lots of stuff like the government or, corporations trying to hold down, like, the common man and stuff like that. And people trying to wake up from systematic oppression and stuff like that. That's a lot of heavy concepts that, like, the average dude ain't really thinking about like that. I felt like maybe Star Wars, like, I mean, I'm not saying no offense, but like kind of lighter, where anybody could kind of, get to it. Like, you could go anywhere around the world and anybody would know Star Wars.
Well, see, the thing about you're exactly right, but this is I'm not saying but add to it, right? When we saw Star Wars in the 70s, my mother took me to Star Wars after she got off of work, working a night shift. She was still in a nursing uniform. We saw Star Wars in 74, I think it was. 73 or whatever. We was toddlers. Yeah, we was kids. We identified, and all of us identified with the rebels. Right. But if you want to be honest about it, and Mumia Abu-Jamal did a beautiful essay about this, he's saying in actuality, America was the empire, and it still is the empire. Where, the rebels are the black and brown countries that we fucking over. But, America come off of, he said much more eloquently than me, but he was saying America was going through a bit of an identity crisis. We came off of a terrible loss of Vietnam and this, that, and the third, and we was kind of looking for, kind of reading, the 60s, the social and civil rights struggles and everything and all that kind of shit. He was in the 70s. He was basically trying to say that we was trying to kind of find a new national identity. And when Star Wars came along, a lot of people, latched onto it. But we identified with Luke and Leia and Han and Chewie and Lando and the whole bit. When in actuality, we fucking Vader and the Emperor and them. And the police is the stormtroopers. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
These are not the droids you're looking for.
Yeah, exactly. These are not the African Americans. So, and I think when the Matrix came along, we were more clear about who we really were. We was Neo. We was most of us were actually with the people who wanted us. Like, what's your boy who changed up on him? Was it Cypher?
Yeah, that's him, Cypher.
That's Cypher.
That's Seraph, the Asian dude.
Yeah. So a lot of us is Cypher.
Right.
Once we get a little bit of history now, especially,
you want to go back to sleep.
You say, just plug me up. I just need to give me a promotion, and I shut up. I won't cause some trouble, kind of thing. And so I think we were more clear as to who and what people was.
Right.
So I think we grew up a little bit as a country, you know, and we realized, that's my thinking. So I think you're right, you know. Yeah. All right, so what else you got on that one? Because I like to move on to something else.
About the Matrix.
Yeah, anything else?
I just gotta say, like, you know, I like the Matrix so much is because, I mean, the reason why I like the Matrix so much is because, you know, it had like insane action sequences, you know, but it only meant something. It only like stayed in my mind because every sequence had weight to it.
Okay. With
the characters, it wasn't random like what do you call it? Michael Bay's Transformers and stuff.
Okay.
That, like, Michael Bay's Transformer movies have fantastic and great action sequence. Like Optimus Prime had a flaming sword or something like that.
Oh, wow.
It beats the heck out of what the Matrix had, but it's still just a bunch of random robots fighting over something you're not even going to remember, you know? Like,
do you think that was good character development in the Matrix trilogy? Like, did Neo have a hero's journey kind of deal, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think his character development kind of was all in the first Matrix, and then I guess in Matrix Reloaded, he kind of just was going through the motions of it, I guess.
He was getting better. So
he was getting.
He accepted that he accepted that he was the guy, even though I don't know. Was he the guy though?
Was he the one, you mean?
Yeah, because the Oracle said no, and then the architect said, "Motherfucker,
you died many times.
I done seen you about 7 times or something like that."
Right.
You know what I mean? So he was. So the enemy told him he was the one. Isn't that funky?
Yeah.
Sometimes I think your enemy can kind of really show you who you are. It almost reminds me of what that young brother who was murdered, the rapper in Nipsey Hussle, said something like, you know, pray for strong enemies or something like that.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But yeah, man. All right, so now if we're gonna talk about action films,
right?
There's one action film that I think impacted both of us heavy.
Yeah.
And that is SPL.
SPL, we gotta get into that.
Let's talk about SPL.
All right, well, I got into Matrix. Why don't you open it up with that?
So SPL is basically a cops and robbers movie.
Yeah.
It's Donnie Yen and Sammo Hung.
It's China.
Hong Kong. Gangster Sammo Hung is playing.
Yeah.
You know, the fat guy, real fast and kung fu pictures.
Yeah.
You know, respect, brother.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so he's the criminal mastermind. You know, he's like the kingpin.
He's a great kingpin.
Like the great kingpin.
Uh-huh.
And so, you know, the police officers get their asses handed to them. So they bring Donnie Yen in as a special agent to kind of help them clean up and take down this criminal guy.
Right.
So before the way the movie opens up, it's, if I remember correctly, it's like some people driving and then they crash, and it's like one of the police chiefs or whatever, and then he gets shot or something like that.
Wait, hold up.
And then there's a little girl.
So like, well, yeah, you're right about that, but they were traveling with a witness.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
The family was in witness protection program.
Witness protection.
The father was going to testify against Sammo Hung, the kingpin guy. And then they caught him, and they killed everybody except that guy. The police chief, well, not the police chief, but the head of the security detail, and the little girl, the daughter of the witness. So he kind of took her under, he survived, and he kind of took her under his protection.
Yeah.
But that kind of, I'm not going to say it broke him, but he really wanted to avenge the little girl's family's death or something along the lines. So it was a deep drama.
It was deep.
It was a thriller. It was a kung fu picture. It was a cops and robbers kind of thing.
And it was dark too.
Very, very dark. When we say dark, how dark would you say compared to another movie? I
mean, The Matrix Reloaded was light compared to SPL.
Oh, yeah. When we say dark, we had a Chinese friend over when we was watching SPL, and he said, "Yeah, this is like a traditional Japanese Chinese action movie. Everybody dies." I ain't trying to give it away.
Yeah. You just did.
I did it. But But okay, so everybody died. But it was so many layers to this.
So many.
It was basically a part in the film where Donnie Yen had to fight his way to somebody.
Oh, wait, hold on, hold on.
Okay.
You missing out on so many good parts.
Go ahead, son. Go ahead.
All right, so like they had Samuel Hung, he was just gangster, right? And what's this? Donnie Yen came, and I guess the cop was getting beat up or something. I don't think it was like this old man cop.
Was it on the golf course?
No, it was on a golf course. This was like in the city. And this old man cop was like, start throwing bottles at me or something like that. And then one thug came at him, and then it was like 50 thugs. You know, China's got a whole bunch of people.
Right.
It was like 50 thugs against one old man. And then Donnie Yen came with his crew, and then they're about to fight all the thugs. And then Samuel Hung came, and then he, like, all the thugs just parted like water, and then they just had a stare off and stuff. And I was like, dang, you know, like, man, like, he was just gangster, you know? And then, what else? And then, like, so, like, yeah, what you said was right. Like, Donnie Yen was, he had to go through a lot of people to get to Samuel Hung. But before that, Donnie Yen was the new member of this crew of cops that was already investigating Samuel Hung. And they were giving Donnie Yen beef.
Right.
And at one point, Donnie Yen, okay, this is already spoiler alert. We already told you the ending.
Mad spoilers.
Donnie Yen, he had to almost fight all of them himself. His own co-workers, his own cops.
Right. They didn't trust him. They thought maybe it was like, oh, you trying to think we crooked? Or,
yeah.
You know, you think we on the take? You know, you might be internal affairs, something like that.
Yeah. And it was so gangster the way it happened. So, like, you know, the cops, they want to get Samuel Hung, but he's just so good with the lawyers and the money and the bribes that they can't touch him.
Yeah.
So him and the crooked cops, they go and try to jump this one guy that knows like how to get to Samuel Hung to make him snitch for him.
Right.
The guy, he knows that they're coming, so he's running. But the cops, they jump the guy and they're about to beat him. Oh, they do beat him with a pipe.
God damn.
Yeah, they beat him with a pipe, and then the guy somehow escapes or something. I'm not sure if he escapes or dies, but Donnie Yen comes. Nah, the dude dies. And then Donnie Yen comes, and he just whoops everybody's behind. Like,
because the cops beat the informant.
Yeah.
And Donnie Yen basically disciplines the police. Yeah, okay.
And it's so gangster the way he does it. Like, he's whooping everybody's behind so much that one of the cops actually pulls a gun out on Donnie Yen.
Yeah.
And then Donnie Yen walks straight up to the gun. It's like, come on, do something. And then punches him in the face.
Yeah.
I was like, man, he gangster.
Yeah.
You know, and okay, so here's the other part where Donnie Yen became on their side, where the guy, you know, that was head of the thing, you know, he had the glass in his head, that guy. He hit him with the whole, you know, like, we're trying to do right. The law ain't working for us. Whose side are you on? Donnie Yen's on their side. Now, this is where Samuel Hung sends the hitman after each and one of them, one by one.
Right.
I was like, you know, it was like so brutal the way this guy. So this guy, his name is Wu Jing, and I looked up this guy after I saw this movie. This guy is good. But this hitman, he dresses up in all white.
Oh yeah.
And
blonde hair.
Yeah,
blonde spiky hair.
Yeah, and he carries one dagger, and he took out everybody. I mean, like everybody. It was this one scene where one of the cops wanted to talk with his daughter or something like that because they had a bad relationship, and then in the phone booth while he's talking to his daughter, all of a sudden he just got knifed 10 times in the stomach. And he couldn't even make it to meet his daughter for the last time.
Yeah.
I was like, God dang, that was brutal. You remember? You remember when?
I remember somebody died by like 1,000 cuts, something like that. I remember that part. But that was the fight choreography was very brutal.
Yeah.
When I say brutal, would you compare it to? Oh shit!
No, you can't say the red. You can't say that.
Okay, what? Okay, I don't know. Okay, all right. But since you brought it up, but anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, and then I gotta say the one scene that got me really made me feel bad for the characters was the young guy that he wanted to go back to his family in Brazil or somewhere.
Yeah.
And I guess he wanted to get information from these these underground guys, and it was a trap.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess they were playing soccer, and then all of a sudden somebody kicked the ball outside the parking lot,
mm-hmm.
and they all ran to go chase it, and then they locked the door on the guy.
Mm.
And then that's when the hitman came.
Oh,
I was like, God.
So his whole crew was in on it. All his friends was in on it.
Oh wait, what?
Right, the guy who was gonna snitch, it was the mole.
Oh yeah.
Playing soccer.
Yeah.
And then they all ran out and they locked the gate.
Yeah.
And he was trying to run away, but the guy cut him like 1,000 times.
Yeah. And it was messed up because
Donnie Yen was trying to get to him.
Yeah.
But he couldn't get over the fence in time, and the guy just died on the fence.
Oh no, it wasn't that he couldn't get to him. It was the fence, but it was that he couldn't get the shot.
Oh,
and
okay.
because the guy knifed him a whole bunch of times, and then
he stayed behind him. That's right.
Yeah. Donnie Yen shot him in the arm, and that's when he got behind the guy and put a knife to his throat, and then hid in the shadows.
Yeah.
This was like the brutal part. It's like his young friend was there shivering and bleeding to death,
mm-hmm.
and then he just slowly took the knife to the dude's throat, and then while Donnie Yen watched because he couldn't get a shot, he just slit his throat and then just dropped him right there. I was like, God. So at this point, he's like, man, Donnie Yen, you gotta get him, man.
Yeah.
You gotta get him. And you want to talk about the scene where Donnie Yen went? You remember that scene?
You know what I want to do? I highly recommend for the fellas. Y'all get SPL. What's the American name?
The American one is called Killzone.
Yeah, it's called Killzone with Donnie Yen and Sammo Hung.
Yeah.
I kind of don't want to tell them everything. I feel
Right.
like it's good enough. They should listen. They should go watch it.
Yeah.
But basically,
We told them everything.
No, we did.
Alright.
We left out the police station thing when they were
Alright.
wrestling. We left about we left out a lot of shit.
Alright.
And you stopped me from telling them about him fighting his way to the guy.
Right.
So we only told y'all, I would say, a quarter of what went on in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So SPL is an action. Now, one of your favorites is the tournament.
Yeah.
Since we're on action, tell them about the tournament.
Yeah, that takes too much energy.
We giving y'all. I give you a choice: the tournament or the raid.
All right, I'll just go with the tournament.
All right, good.
Like we're going on too many dark movies. Like,
okay.
Right? Okay. Well, the tournament ain't a happy movie either, but it's lighter than what we've been talking about.
If you guys like, I couldn't watch Deadpool because it's too much of that gay college humor
it's
shit.
Weird.
But this movie has a guy in it that's damn close, but it's great. You know what I mean? It's okay.
Yeah.
But go ahead, yeah.
Yeah. So the tournament is pretty much what it sounds like. It's a tournament.
It's a B movie with assassins, and it's a game.
Yeah.
And all the big people, anonymous rich people is betting on the assassins and all that kind of shit. Yeah.
And it's great. And they got all these different types of assassins, and everybody has a reason for why they're in it. And the main character is this hot girl called, I think, Kelly Hu or something.
Kelly Hu, yeah.
Yeah, and she's pretty good looking, and she can fight. So they follow her, and she's like on the path to redemption for, doing something she regrets. And, they had lots of great scenes in here because they had such a variety of martial arts in here. Because I do a little martial arts, so I was really into it. They had some parkour action in there. They had some Krav Maga guy in there, military tactics. They had this, Kelly Hu was like, what, Kung Fu, I guess?
So what's your boy Atkins was in there, right?
Yeah, that's the Krav Maga military.
What's his name? Scott, right?
Scott Atkins, yeah.
And also, what's the brothers in there? The big one?
Oh, man, I don't know.
Bing Rames?
Yeah.
Bing Rames.
He was all guns.
Yeah, he was all guns.
Yeah, he was all guns. So not just martial arts, but you had a whole bunch of guns in there, too. And they had some crazy shootout.
Yep.
Spoilers. Spoilers. They had some crazy shootout at the strip club.
Oh,
yeah.
Your sister's God, man.
Yeah.
That guy was crazy. Come on,
Yeah,
yeah. Let's get it in.
Yeah.
That country boy was going crazy.
Yeah,
that was some hilarious shit right there.
Yeah, they had this hillbilly guy in this giant white Las Vegas looking jacket, just jacking everybody up.
Everybody.
Yeah, and they had this crazy shootout in the middle of the strip club. And now I gotta tell you, so like the way the tournament is, it's not like you sign up your name and you go into this room.
Mm-hmm.
What happens is you take a pill, and then you pass out. And while you're passed out, the surgeon comes in and puts a tracking device on you. And then he stitches you up and he leaves. You wake up and you got this tracking device in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
And on this tracking device, or like radar, you can not only see yourself, but you can see other contestants.
Yeah, didn't they give you like a phone or something, some kind of device?
Nah, it's not a phone. It was like a radar.
Oh, okay.
A radar thing.
Okay.
And if you tried to take it out, no, wait. And the thing was, like, if there wasn't a one last man standing, then the tracking device inside of it would blow up.
Right.
So everybody had to kill each other, or everybody was going to die.
Right, basically.
Yeah. So it was cool because when that radar thing started beeping, you had to like be on guard because you didn't know who was the assassin.
Oh, okay. So
I just tried to set up the strip club.
Right, exactly. If you was in proximity of another contestant,
yeah,
you would get a beep, 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 beep kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so I was just saying that to set up the strip club scene for it. So when, what's his name,
Vin Rames.
Vin Rames walked in the strip club. He looked at his radar. Everybody, he saw all the dots on his radar. Everybody was there. It was like 10 or 15 people in there.
Yeah, 10 or 15 contestants in the tournament in one strip club.
Yeah, in one. And then I guess
and the strippers didn't know. They were just in And the random bar people didn't know. They was in the middle of the killing field.
Yeah, there's a lot of, pedestrian civilians in there too.
Yeah.
So nobody didn't know who it was until the crazy hillbilly boy just started shooting. I guess it was cool the way it happened. He was getting a lap dance. And then the chick, she laid back. And as she laid back, he pulled out a 12-gauge. He pulled out a 12-gauge shotgun and shot the nearest guy.
Yeah.
And then after that, everybody started shooting.
Didn't he say something stupid like, let's get this party started?
No, I don't remember what he said.
He said, yeehaw!
Yeah.
Let's get this party started, motherfucker!
Yeah.
I think he said something like that. Shit was hilarious.
Yeah, and that was a crazy shootout scene, and
that was one of those B movies, straight to video.
Yeah.
They would say back in the day. But it was a good one. All right, so you want to go lighter or?
Oh, you got a lighter one?
Nah, I was gonna talk about the raid.
Oh, you want to talk about the raid? Yeah, all right. I'll let you open that one.
Okay, so I'm a fan of Ong-Bak, and I saw Ong-Bak before Ong-Bak was cool, and I seen it before it came to America. But anyway, maybe allegedly. But my son told me about the raid because I thought Ong-Bak was the business. I saw Ong-Bak the protector.
Yeah.
And I thought that was it. Ain't nothing tougher than this. He was like, Father.
Yeah.
You gotta see the raid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, let me see the raid. Because I got excited that martial arts films was coming out of someplace other than China.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you got the Philippines,
Southeast
you got
Asia.
Laos, you got, you know what I mean? All these other islands, I know they got their own styles. You know, so I'd be nice. So that's why Ong-Bak excited me. So anyway, I just did not realize how brutal the raid was.
Yeah.
So if you guys don't know about the raid, you want to give them the synopsis, John?
Yeah, so pretty much again, it's with dirty cops. These I don't even know where they are, but they're somewhere in Southeast Asia.
Yeah,
And this cop team gets a call about an emergency or something heavy that needs SWAT involvement. And the SWAT car gets in there, and it's like a really jacked up like Section 8 apartment complex in Southeast Asia. And they go in there, and it turns out the whole thing's a trap. And should I tell them why it's a trap? Or?
Yeah, good.
The whole thing's a trap because the higher ups in the police department got ties to the higher ups in the crime underworld, and this one crime guy wants this one lieutenant's life. So they sent this group of SWAT team in there so they could kill the lieutenant and get their revenge or whatever. But the team members, they don't know none of that. They're just trying to survive. And the crazy thing is that it's not just a whole bunch of broke people. Everybody in there is a trained criminal killer.
So let me give context.
Yeah.
The thumbnail version is these cops go to an apartment complex.
Yeah.
They got to fight their way floor by floor to get to the top floor where the boss is. And all of these people got their own different fighting styles, and they're all highly trained killers.
Yeah.
And these cops, they're not fighting all the time. Sometimes they use guile and subterfuge. Sometimes it's a hide and go seek kind of thing.
Yeah.
But they have to fight their way, and not everybody make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say they had to fight their way, because I felt like it was more survival.
Yeah.
It felt like they were just trying to get out of there alive.
Okay, got
it. Yeah, and they were trying to get out of there alive and stuff like that. And in this movie, just like, I wouldn't say just like SPL, but they were heavy on the shootouts, especially this one scene. And then when everybody runs out of bullets, then it gets really hardcore with the knives and using the environment like doors and windows and all types of just brutal stuff. And I mean, I like the movie, but I think it's like a masterpiece in terms of like a serious dark action film. But the darkness is so potent. I only watch it like once or something like that. I'm good, you know. Like,
good. Okay.
I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree that there's a such thing as artful violence.
Yeah.
But they were just like brutal. And so I'm not one of those people that enjoy gore.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, okay, I'm good. I saw it once because I was amazed how creative they were with the way they was killing folks.
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't know there had been a new ways to kill people.
Like, we gotta tell them about the door, right?
Go ahead.
So this guy, he took a knife, slit his legs or something, and I guess somebody got kicked through the door, and so like it's wooden, right? So the door was broken, and at the bottom was like splinters, or like, what do you say, like hinged, like like at the bottom was sharp pieces of wood or something from the door being kicked in. This guy, he slam dunked this dude's throat onto the sharp pieces of wood at the bottom.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, his head.
Yeah.
That's how brutal. Yeah. It was Mortal Kombat.
Like a guillotine type move or something.
Yeah. I was like, dang, how you training for that?
So let's do this. Let's go lighter because we almost out of time anyway. So let's go lighter. So we basically giving y'all a list of movies that you might want to check out. All right, so
lightest. What, Iron Monkey?
Yeah, Iron Monkey. So Iron Monkey is special to me. I'm talking about the Donnie Yen version because that's the first movie I took Jonathan to when he was little. When I say little, a toddler. Yeah. And so we saw Iron Monkey. It's the father and son. I think it's basically they did a remix of the Samurai Wolf thing.
Oh, right.
The Samurai. Yeah. So basically the guy was some kind of martial artist working for somebody, king, whatever, and long story short, it's just a son and father traveling through the West, I guess. I mean, Asia, China, whatever, trying to survive. Yeah. And the father is a medicine doctor and also a martial artist, and he eventually.
Oh wait, hold up. No, he ain't.
He's not.
Nah, you got the two dudes mixed up.
Iron Monkey?
Yeah, one dude, Iron Monkey, he's the medicine dude with the wife that used to be a hoe, and then, or a courtesan or whatever, and then you got the father and son. He was a famous martial artist, and he wanted to go to Foshan or something like that. The medicine dude is separate.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Iron Monkey was the medicine dude,
Right,
done.
and he took the woman who used to be a prostitute.
Yeah.
And made her his assistant.
Yeah, but the father wasn't a medicine man. That was Donnie Yen.
Didn't Donnie Yen have a son though?
Yeah, he had a son, but he didn't do medicine, Donnie Yen.
Oh, okay, all right.
Mhm.
So anyway, so long story short, father and son doing
Yeah.
martial arts, but it was what I would call the fancy, very black ballet,
Flying and stuff.
old school Saturday morning, kung fu action theater, Shaw Brothers style martial arts. So that's a little more light and airy. It's not people getting massacred as Buddhist poem, that kind of shit, kind of thing.
It still has a serious tone to it, but it's like ninjas flying around and stuff.
Right.
That's why I liked it a lot, because they look like ninjas.
All right. So what was your take on Kung Fu Hustle?
Kung Fu Hustle. Dang, I guess that's just Looney Tunes Kung Fu style, I guess.
Is it rewatchable, or you watch it once and you're good?
I watched it once or maybe twice and I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, I say Iron Monkey. I could watch that almost every day. I could watch that every day.
All right. Is there another action movie that was lighter that you watched?
Yeah, I got to put this. Now, this was in the 80s, and this is called Duel to the Death. It's free on YouTube. If you like ninjas or anything like that, ninja related, you need to watch this movie, because this movie had the most ninjas in it. It had like over 100 ninjas. Just infinite ninjas. Infinite ninjas. Like the opening scene, it was just a whole bunch of ninjas just running around and stuff. Right. I was like, man, I'm a huge ninja fan. When I say ninja, I don't mean Naruto. I mean like real ninjas, running around and taking people out and smoke bombs. Yeah, and this ninja movie just had ninjas to just everywhere. And it had like the crazy kung fu logic. Just stuff that doesn't make sense, like reversing, like when they jump from something and they just rewind. It had crazy special effects like that. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about?
I think you sent it to me. It was this one where they hide under the ground, and then they got the little breathing tubes, and then they had the water crafts. Or are we talking about something?
Nah, that was 5 Elements. That was 5 Elements. That's something else.
Okay.
This is the one with that chick that looked like a black girl. Remember that? You don't remember that?
I remember that one. All right, what's another one?
Another one, Kung Fu related.
Well, a happy action movie, because we gave them such dark ones. Because I figured this is going to be a list for folks to check out. So a happy one for me, one of our favorites obviously was Rush Hour. But everybody probably saw Rush Hour 1. Rush Hour 1.
Yeah. Kick Ass?
I didn't like it.
No, you didn't like it.
I didn't like it for more reasons.
Yeah,
One,
the kids.
They had teenagers having sex. I know they do it, but you shouldn't promote it in films. And two, that a grown man was beating a little girl at the end of it. I was like, I can't co-sign that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't co-sign that.
All right, well, this is off topic, but I said anyway, it's kind of action related. Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and he was fighting. It was him and this teddy bear looking monster jumping Mechagodzilla and stuff. Yeah,
that's when they were still in the suits. And
everything. And they had those twin Asian girls singing to the teddy bear monster to wake him up. And then him and Godzilla jumped. The Mechagodzilla was stomping him and punching him and stuff. Yeah. Oh snap! I didn't have the mic over here. Yeah.
All right.
That's happy ending.
All right, that's good. So let me see. A happy one for me. There was action. Oh man, would you consider Star Wars action?
Yeah, I would say that's super happy right there.
All right, so I would say Star Wars. When they went to go find when Luke got captured. That's
No Hope. I mean, wait, New Hope.
That's the new one.
That's
the new joint. I think Revenge of the Sith.
All right.
When they captured Han Solo and Lando was there and everything, I like that one. That was good. You funny man. No, yeah, that's the new shit they do. That's Disney right there. That's Disney.
All right, well, we just arrived, and
Yeah,
yeah, we try to do another video later
at some point.
or whatever. But yeah, check out the movies we recommended, and
Yeah, this is father and son
yeah,
signing out.
yeah.